Zora Neal Hurston was an author, folklorist, and anthropologist. She was and still is a key figure in not only the African American community, but a feminist as well. Hurston was born in Notasulga, Alabama on January 7, 1891. She was the fifth out of 8 children. Her parents were named John and Lucy Ann, and she moved to Eatonville, Florida. Eatonville, Florida was an all-black town that she called her forever home and her inspiration for her work as a journalist and an author. It even gave her self-assurance for who she is and was. Some of Hurston's interests include writing, which she wrote some books and became an author and a journalist. She was really into feminism and an advocate for the feminist community. She liked being a leader, especially in the feminist and the Black culture, and she loved musicals. She even started one. This quote is from the Norton anthology that we read in class, and it's titled The Eatonville Anthology. Mrs. McDuffie goes to church every Sunday and always shouts and tells her determination. Her husband always sits in the back row and beats her as soon as they get home. Hurston, 528. This is very interesting to me because it shows how feminism works and how she wants to advocate for feminist rights. After Hurston's mother died in 1904, she was sent to a boarding school. She also worked as a maid to the lead singer of a theater company. In 1917, she went to Morgan College in Baltimore, Maryland. In 1918, she attended Howard University in Washington, D.C. In 1925, she received her bachelor's degree in anthropology at Barnard College, Columbia University. In 1927, she married her former classmate Herbert Sheen. In 1931, the marriage failed and they divorced. In 1939, she had a second marriage to a guy named Albert Price, which he was 25 years younger than she was. 7 months later, they got a divorce. Hurston is not the best at marriages. She wrote and was a staff member at the North Carolina College for Negroes, which was part of her Black culture movement. In 1934, she created a school for dramatic arts at Bethune-Cookman College in Florida. Her later adult life was not the best. After her marriage collapsed, she was in debt. She was in poverty, and she was underpaid as a woman because of the job she works. After years of writing, Hurston had to enter the St. Lucie County welfare home just to take care of herself and be healthy. To make ends meet, she had some odd jobs she had to pursue. Some include a maid, a manicurist, a teacher, a journalist, and even a waitress. The books that she wrote were mainly about Black culture, her experiences, and feminism. Some include Sweat, which she wrote in 1926, Mulebone, which she wrote in 1930, Those Eyes Are Watching God, which was one of her most famous novels in 1937, Moses, Man of the Mountain in 1939, and I Love Myself and I'm Laughing, and Then Again When I Am Looking Mean and Impressive, which was in 1979. Some quotes that Hurston actually said was, "Love makes your soul crawl out from its hiding place, and sometimes I feel discriminated against, but it does not make me angry. It merely astonishes me. How can any deny themselves the pleasure of my company? It's beyond me." These really relate to me because her experiences and my experiences are very similar, especially with people. Hurston had multiple accomplishments, including participating in the Harlem Renaissance movement with Langston Hughes, Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, Courtney Cullen, Billie Holiday, Ubi Blake, and Noble Sisley. She was also in the New York Writers Hall of Fame. Zora Neale Hurston had quite a legacy. She actually has her own festival located in Eatonville, Florida called the Zora Neale Hurston Festival. She also inspired the next generation of authors, writers, and poets, including our own Dr. Maya Angelou. Her house is in Fort Pierce and is now and will forever be a National Historic Landmark. Her legacy still lives on today. Hurston received many awards. She won the Doctor of Letters from Morgan State College. She won the Ansfield Wolf Book Award in Race Relations in 1943, and she won the Howard University's Distinguished Alumni Award. Hurston collaborated with many celebrities on her books and musicals, such as Langston Hughes and Courtney Cullen. Hurston had many struggles in her life. Her stepmom, who was not nice at all, almost got killed in a fistfight against Hurston. And because of Hurston's income, she struggled to finish school. Her solution to that, because she needed to qualify for free public schooling, she lied and said her age was 16 to go into free public schooling. Hurston had quite an impact on the younger generation. One of the most foremost female writers of the 20th century, and still is today, is Hurston. She was a huge part of the Black community and women empowerment, and she also writes books and articles about her experiences and how honored she is to be part of these communities. Some interesting facts about Hurston. In 1948, she was accused of molesting a 10-year-old boy, but the cause was dismissed and she was out of the country at the time of the assault. She worked as a librarian at the Pan American World Airways, but was fired for being too smart for the job. She also had a feud with Langston Hughes over writing styles. Hurston died January 28, 1960 from heart disease. She was buried in a grave that remained unmarked until 1973, and her legacy still lives on. In my opinion, Hurston had a great impact on me and my learning. She was an inspiration to women, and I love her self-respect on her part, and she makes me think about everything she states.